Well, we got one panel in and now it's raining. It's just picked up. Hopefully the storm is short and we can get back on it. Okay, day 2. Second panel is in. Unfortunately, the way the dimensions work is I'm burning up one 4x8 sheet for each strip here. These are like 27 inches wide by 69 inches long. So I got a bunch of short pieces left over, which I might be able to use those in a couple of random spots as filler. My plan here is I'm going to get the roof insulated this week before I go back to work on the road for a couple of weeks. I bought a bunch of like 2-inch recess LED lights and I got all the wiring for that, but I didn't want to mess around with wires and stuff right now. I just wanted to get some insulation up. So when I take the panels down, I'll upholster them. I'll also drill out and install the LED puck lights. I gotta say, this stuff is stinky. It smells like the farm. It smells like manure. It's getting a little better, but man, I hope my van doesn't have a perpetual farm aroma. This stuff is nice to work with though. It's not itchy at all. I keep getting it in my eyes even though I have safety glasses on, and I've been okay. Good stuff. Today I'm going to install a secondary locking system on my cargo van. I had this system installed on my previous truck, my little Transit Connect, and it worked great. Basically the idea is these are aftermarket deadbolt systems that you install on each of the cargo doors that basically makes the lock and unlock access to the rear of the truck independent from the cab or the factory key system. Idea being, if someone smashes a window to get into the cab and they press the unlock buttons in the cab, they still won't be able to gain entry into the cargo area. So it has its own wireless system with key fobs, and then there's a key-based bypass that you can install in the cab in case you lose the fobs, you have a dead battery or whatever. And then within the cargo area, there's an illuminated unlock button so that if someone gets locked in the back, they have the means to get out. I'm going to install the first locking mechanism on the partition door that goes between the cab and the cargo area. Then I think I'll do the rear door second, because I think that's going to be the next difficult level. And then I'll end with the side sliding door, which I think the alignment is going to be the most challenging for that door. Alright, get everything wired up. Didn't work at first, and it turns out the one of the red wires here on this relay switch had come unplugged in the box, most likely from me letting the thing hang while I've been working on it. So I got that all reconnected, and I press the lock. Where is it? There it is. And over here on the partition, let's see here, unlock. Here's the rear door. And the receiver plate, I use putty to stick the plate in position with the door locked. And I had to sand the backside to take out some of the door angle because the door is angled in this direction. So I countersanded the plate to try to square it back up with the pin. So let's test it out here. Unlocked. Lock. Boy, I didn't hear it fire. Oh, it did. Cool. Oh, insulation makes a difference. I can't hear the rear door clicking. Nice. Okay, the last item I need to wire up and my wires aren't long enough, is this key switch in the cab, so that if the remotes go missing or have dead batteries, provided you have the key, you can still open the rear up. And I intentionally powered the Deadbolt set off the engine battery, not my house batteries, which are in the back, and there's a fuse under that floor plate. So that way, if I blow a fuse, it won't be locked in the back. I can change out the fuse. Now there are individual fuses for each deadbolt, but I mean the likelihood of all three of those popping at the same time is highly unlikely. But if, in the event that that happens and I can't get any of the doors unlocked, I guess I'll be cutting into the bolt bulkhead. Okay, so a week has elapsed. It's a Sunday morning. It's about 27 centigrade. I think that's like, or 80 degrees Fahrenheit, super humid. Been packing the truck and I'm sweating like crazy. I got the headliners in. Yeah, it's a little rough. That edge needs to go up above the fold there, like the second panel. I'll get to that eventually. And I got a little bit of an overlap issue here. I got to shave off just a little bit on the second panel so that they line up side by side with a little bit of a gap. Ultimately, my plan is to upholster these, and then I will do a second piece of upholstery, like a strip, to cover each seam, decorative strip. And I still haven't decided what I'm going to do on the walls. I'm kind of thinking on this side I'd like to do cabinets the whole length, or maybe just shelving, captive shelving without a door. I'm thinking personal items in the back and over the sink, maybe a little bit of kitchen items, but primarily production stuff like expendables, hard drives, tape, you know, one-off stuff, PPE. And I'm also debating maybe putting in a second fan up front so I can get circulation without having my front windows open. Now that I got this partition up and the vents blocked, I don't get a whole lot of airflow. There's a little bit in the corners, but I don't really want to make a second hole in the roof. So I'm debating that. I also looked at, there's a company in, I think, Sweden that has floor vents that open and close. So I don't know, I may consider that as well. All right, so I'm packing. Today's a travel day up to Dallas, about a 5-hour drive with stops, staying downtown at a nice hotel. And then we're shooting a commercial at a residential location, and I'll run you through the gear, experimenting with different layouts back here for ease at the load-in. I think I'm going to run one Gemini. I've got two on board, but turned them sideways so that I don't have to climb under there to get the stands out. I don't have Nick with me this time in Texas to crawl under there, and I don't want to be the guy to go under, so lazy man solution. One C-stand, and that is for arming out a backlight for a particular look I need to match. A couple of stingers. The miscellaneous Pelican is my Zoom computer and a bunch of backup cabling. I got to do a Zoom feed back to an agency. My red prime's on board. This may be the first time I've rolled up on a shoot with the big 6-lens case in the new truck. Matte box and follow focus, that's specific for if we're running the primes. And then we may do a few other shots on the 17-to-120 servo zoom, handheld. This director likes to shoot primes. It's gonna be interesting. I don't have an AC for this shoot. It's very small and lean. So I may do the static stuff on primes, switch to the zoom when I'm running around, but those primes are really stiff, so I need a follow focus. And then also just to control flare, it might be good to have the matte box with the eyebrow installed. 21-inch monitor, not planning to use it, but I've got room, so we're bringing it. I got a backup onboard 5-inch, also not planning to use it, but often I rob the ultralight arm or cabling for the zoom feed and other bits. A few 5-in-1 reflectors if I got to deal with windows. And we may use one of these as a silk to soften the key light. I'm going to do a little bit of B-roll in the backyard on the Pocket 6K gimbal setup. And then I'm going to bring the FX9 as a backup camera, because again I have room and I like to have backups whenever possible. So that'll ride up there on the right. My thinking is that way if these stands fall, they won't fall on my one soft case. I do need to switch this out to a hard case, but all the hard cases I've looked at for the FX9, they're really big and bulky because of the way the viewfinder bracket attaches. Anyway, I don't know, something I got to think about. If you have any suggestions for a hard case for the FX9, I'd love to hear them. Shoot doesn't call for a slider, but I'm going to bring it. As you've seen in some of my other videos, this is my homemade solution. I prefer to run off a tripod when sliding because, again, I'm single operator. I'm kind of a one-man band on this show, and it's just too much work, too much danger running a conventional slider on rolling dual stands. Got a couple of these clone 150 HMIs with dimmers. I may bring those. Actually, yeah, I'm going to bring those. And I'll use this. I get this little soft school bag. I'll just throw them in there. That's just in case I need to put a little special on the background, a little accent highlight on any kind of item in the background. And I got to load in my utility chest. This is my interview light kit. And we're going to run off this 7-inch wireless monitor on the shoot for the director because we're very mobile. Like, even though it's a commercial, short form commercial, it's going to be very documentary style. And I think, yeah, as of last conversation, I'm doing my own audio. I just got to put a lav on one person, and I'm going to use the wireless Go units for that task. I'll use an actual wired lavalier to the transmitter pack, and I've got these little things in case I do need to hide the mic, so I'll do that as well. And then I'll probably just run an onboard mic as backup. And if you haven't picked up on one critical item I didn't mention is the camera. My camera is actually flying in with the director from Los Angeles, Amira. I left it, I actually got it on a show for, it's like a 2-week rental after my last trip back there. It just worked out perfect. And then got it delivered to the director's house in California, and he's very gracious and he's willing to fly out with that case. So that's also the reason I have the FX9, just in case something happens, baggage claim. It'll be a checked case because it's a big case like this ATA lens case. Just in case, I'll have the Sony as a backup.